Former Finance Minister, Honorable Member of this House, has spoken about, and all of us listened with great intent and keenness to know what is being said. So permit me, sir, to say there was more sarcasm than content in the speech. There was more sarcasm than content in the speech. And of course, some expressions which were used have been very effectively rebutted. I'm very grateful to Sri Ramchandra Prasad Singh, the floor leader of JDU, for taking pointedly issues which have been mentioned about masses and classes. So I would like to go point by point to say about that, sir. And before I go into the detail, just a light-hearted comment, if you would permit me. When all of us were equally worried about delivering onions, questioned about government's intent on making things easy for people who have to consume onions, all of us have been working on it, and all of us tried answering earnestly. None of us had avocado in our mind, but who had it, sir? Not the masses, certainly. So, with that, I would want to say also that a lot of assumptions were being put on us. The government is predisposed in its attempt to be protectionist, predisposed against FTAs, predisposed about the strength of the Indian rupee. So one thing I concede, sir, we are certainly predisposed about one thing, and that is not to repeat the faulty remedies which the UPA government had given in 2008-9 times when there was a crisis. None of that will be repeated by us. That is the predisposed mindset of this government. So predisposed we are, yes, but not for those items which were listed against us, but certainly for this. So the other thing also, the former minister was very obsessed with calling us very incompetent doctors. Yes, you are. I will tell you who the incompetent doctors were. Sir pointedly asked, why didn't you come and consult us? Why didn't you come and consult us? So, thank you. I'll tell you who is this now. Arrogance, we are, is it? Yes. Masses, we are, is it? Yes, I'd like to tell you that this, sir, I've listened to every one of the members, and I shall definitely take every one of their comments and suggestions and answer. But not when you're constantly throwing barbs at us saying, oh, very incompetent doctors, masses and classes. I'd like to answer this, sir. What was the remedy offered in 2008-9, sir? And what did it result in, sir? We certainly don't want that burden on the Indian economy for today or for the future. And I have specifics with which I'll say this. Sir, India was very fortunate between 2004 and 14 to have inherited the good work of Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, as a result of which there was such a cushion available.
Anand Sharma ji.
Yes, truth has to be put on record. 480 million.
You can't. This is not going on record. It's not go on record. You are a very senior member. You have been in government. Would like to come into government. You can't sit and make comments. Yeah, please. Yes. Minister is former minister. Nothing will go on record, including what has been said earlier. Yes, nothing. Nothing will go on record. I can assure you, nothing will go on record.
The diagnosis of what went wrong between 2008 and 9 and the treatment that had been offered here, I would like to list out some of them. So the twin balance sheet problem is something which we have inherited in 2014, and as a result of which a whole lot of issues have cropped up for the health of public sector banks, for the number of cronies who have run away from the country, who we are trying to bring back. So that twin balance sheet problem is not something which I would want to learn from those very competent doctors. One. Second, sir, NPA ran into lakhs of amounts. We are retrieving all of them. And every session of the parliament, we are standing up and answering questions on how much has been brought back and how many people on whom we have taken action. NPAs ran into lakhs of crores, and of course the cronies have ran out of the country. We are getting them all back. That is another remedy offered during the 2008-9 crisis. We certainly do not want to inherit or copy those remedies of competent doctors. Second, inflation was in double digits. Food inflation was also in double digits, and consistently at that. I have read out the figures, but I will talk about the deficits also, which were during that period, the fiscal deficit during that period. Today, the FRBM Act is being shown to us. You know what it is? Do you know what you're doing to it? I'd like to quote it back to say how much of FRBM has been violated during every year of the UPA government. But we have not done that. So we have not taken the remedies offered by the competent doctors. On handling inflation, we have kept it well under 4 all through our rule. And under Prime Minister Modi, food inflation has never crossed beyond the acceptable threshold. Sir, flight of capital. And before that, sir, data and account fudging.